What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. Boy, I tell you what. This is not a prop cup. God, people are saying this is a prop cup. There's liquid in there, man. That's that pure Colombian right there, my friends. I don't know what kind of freaking YouTube channels you've been watching, other than mine. But this, when you come here, when you sit down and press that play button on this channel, everything you're going to see is completely 100% authentic. That's right. This is a real coffee mug. This is not a hologram. This is real coffee, and it is not water with black dye inside of it. Okay, this is real stuff. Now, the stuff that we've been talking about the last couple days with the conspiracies and all that with Matt and rapper Mike, is that stuff real? Who freaking knows? I'm not here. Back in the day, look, I can sit here and talk seriously. Look, that was just fun and games to me, okay? Listening to people's mind states and hear their conspiracy theories or where stuff came from is entertainment to me. I already got set in my mind what I believe in and which stuff I choose to search for, whether it's false or truth, okay? I choose that. Back in the day, I used to search and boggle my mind on all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? And there are certain things that I could sit here and tell you, it ain't no conspiracy, it's raw facts. Maybe I can't prove it with paperwork and all this, but I can guarantee without a doubt in my mind, it is facts, it's not conspiracy. Now, the stuff that we've been talking about, other dimensions and stuff like that, look, I don't believe in that stuff. I really don't. Maybe not another dimension. I do believe in heaven. I do believe in hell. I do believe in forces of good and evil at battle with, stuff that we cannot see. I truly believe that. But anyways, to jump off the whole conspiracy subject, I just want to say, I hope y'all enjoyed the company that I brought on the channel. If you read the description of this channel, it says 8 years worth of prison stories and information, cooking, English bulldogs, and whatever the hell else I choose to bring to the table. You know what I mean? This is my channel, and I'm going to bring stuff that entertains me. And not only that, but for real, there was a deeper message in having these guys on the channel, okay? In jail, in particular, you are going to see people just like this, okay? A 19-year-old and a 30-year-old, probably people that you would never talk to on the streets ever in your life, but guess what? You're locked up with them, and that's when you get to know other people and, dive into their world. And this is what I'm trying to explain to a lot of people that have not been locked up. People that do get locked up, they get around these types of people. And sometimes you might be housed with them in a cell. And when you're sitting in that cell for hours, days, months with this individual, man, look, y'all are going to talk about some of the craziest stuff. I saw a comment the other day from a female. She said, man, this is exactly how, us inmates would talk. We would talk about the most random and nonsense stuff, and that stuff kills time, You'll see people in jail and prison literally getting in fights over which rapper is still in the streets, which rapper still makes money, which rapper is still out there selling dope. You'll literally see people arguing over this stuff, man. In jail and not so much in prison, okay? Mainly in jail. When you're in jail, you're going to hear all kinds of crazy conversations. When you're in prison, you're going to see all kinds of religions, and then you're going to worry about, who has the shanks, who's gang banging where and which, all that stuff. The mind state changes dramatically from jail to prison. But in all actuality, when you get locked up and you're doing time in a cell with a stranger, you're going to hear some crazy stuff, man. And you're going to be diving into their realm, and they're going to be diving into your realm. So yeah, if you got anything from those videos yesterday, it ain't the conspiracies. It ain't for you to go out there and try to find the truth. It's for you to realize this is how jail is. You are going to be surrounded by freaking people that you would never talk to on the streets, and they're going to have beliefs that you would never believe in. You know what I mean? That's just the facts. But anyways, to jump off that subject, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know just a rare few said they'd rather stick to this content. And this will always be the kind of content that will be coming your way. Of course, I'm going to try to break the mode every once in a while with cooking, tattooing, going out in public with the family, having my wife on here. I like to change it up just a little bit. I don't mean to drag out this intro, but I like to get this stuff off my chest. But anyways, check it out. Today we're going to be talking about prison nurses or jail nurses, whatever the case is. I got some stuff I want to talk about and also explain a story that's happening right now in Georgia. All right, check it out. First off, let me just tell this story that's happening in Georgia. This happened in 2017, but right now they're going through a lawsuit. The nurse is going through a lawsuit because in the nurse's office, there's supposed to be up to 5 guards, correctional officers, you know, kind of protecting that whole area. But there was only 1 or 2, I believe she said. And this serial rapist, okay, in Georgia. And this happened in 2017, but the lawsuit's just now going through. I just read this. I think it was, I can't remember what site it was. But I have a couple websites that tell me all the latest prison intel, you know. But this girl, there was a serial rapist. And this guy, you know, this goes to confirm everything that I say. A lot of prisons over here in the East Coast, rapists, they just run rampant. You know what I mean? No one even messes with them. For real. A lot of rapists are absolutely bat crap crazy. They'll be the first ones to shank you up, you know? So keep that in mind. But this rapist, he was walking around, you know. He was allowed to walk the prison. And he went to the nurse's office. And he assaulted this nurse. I'm not going to get into detail. If you want to get, you know, read all the juicy details, go check out, just type in, you know, what I'm talking about online and you'll find it. But anyways, he did some stuff to this girl and then he urinated on her. Okay, he urinated on this nurse. And now they found out that this guy has HIV. And now she's getting tested every 2 to 6 months for HIV because it's very possible that she could get it from what he did to her. You know what I mean? And this just brings me to a point about prison nurses, okay, and jail nurses. Man, y'all are really putting yourself into a position. You know, I never understood that. There's some things that I don't understand when it comes to nurses, all right? I've seen nurses that get really mad at guys in prison that catcall them and stuff like that. Look, what do you expect? What do you expect working in an all-man's prison, okay? And then you're wearing these tight little, whatever them things are called that they wear, the little uniforms, you know, whatever, gowns, whatever. They wear these tight little freaking things and walking around the prison, and they get mad at the inmates for catcalling them. Look, that's one thing that pissed me off about nurses. You can't come here with a bad attitude and get mad at all these guys that are trying to hit on you because you chose to work in an all-male prison. Half of those nurses working, I can guarantee, never get that kind of attention at home from strangers, let alone their own husband. You know what I mean? So they love it, man. And you know, this is another crazy thing. You know, inmates tend to pick out the weakest link. You know what I mean? That is the facts. I'm telling you, these guys in prison, they can sense this stuff. Not all of them, but, you know, the veterans, of course, or the people out there that's messed with women on a regular basis on the streets, you know what I mean? They can really see these nurses that have been broken, they're sad or depressed, and they really sit there and marinate on these nurses. So what I'm trying to say in this video is, yes, of course, you know, nurses can be manipulated, nurses can be catcalled and probably, you know, talked to in derogatory ways, but what do you expect? You're working in a male prison. That's just like me going to work in an all-females prison, getting mad at the females checking me out. You know what I mean? Or me getting mad at people, you know, telling me I'm hot in the comments section. I can't get mad at that. I'm putting myself out there. I can't get mad at them, whether they're guys or girls. I can't get mad at them. So really all I'm saying is, you know, if you are working in that job, that's what you're going to have to expect. Anybody that's fresh going to work in jail as a nurse, this is the type of stuff you're going to have to expect. If you're weak-minded, I'm telling you, you got to be careful, okay? Because these inmates are going to pull every trick in the book on you. Y'all prison nurses, man. And look, be careful, okay? Be careful who you disrespect as well. Because I've seen people, look, check this story out. There's this one prison, jail nurse. This happened in jail. She came in on a regular basis and gave pills out. And of course, there's a correctional officer right next to her as she's doing this. But this one day, this guy's pills ran out. And he got really mad. And she started talking back to him. You know, smart aleck. And she was always a little snappy nurse. She was a young nurse. And she would always get a little snappy at the mouth. Just slightly, you know what I mean? She just had a bad attitude all the time. And this one guy that she happened to get a bad attitude with happened to be the wrong cat. As soon as she told him that his meds was all out, he started freaking out a little bit, you know what I mean? And then they started escalating them more and started running their mouths, and all of a sudden, pop! He smacked fire from this young little freaking nurse. Right there in front of the correctional officer. Smacked pure fire from this little young nurse, man. She probably moved about a good 3.5 feet. You know what I mean? I know for a fact she will never, ever forget that palm to the face. So yeah, jail nurses, prison nurses, y'all gotta be careful who you disrespect, who you run your mouth to, man. For real, you never know what's gonna happen. It don't matter if you're in a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter what prison you're in. You never know what kind of, mental mind state that guy has that gets pills from you every single day. I can only imagine that some of these nurses probably go home to their husbands or boyfriends or whatever, or, anyone. And they're just probably sitting there complaining all day. Yeah, these freaking inmates keep catcalling me. Like, come on, man. You put yourself in that position. You know what I mean? What do you expect? Another quick story, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, check it out. This was in, St. Bride's. St. Bride's. This was a level 2 prison. This prison was actually really fun, man. For real. I had a lot of poker games, jumping. First time ever being in a low level 2 prison. It was very laid back, I ain't gonna lie. But check it out. There was these nurses, okay? A lot of nurses walked around. And a lot of people were ODing on heroin in this prison. You know what I mean? And every time that someone would OD, everyone would be so into it. Like, man, come on, someone call for help. And then when the help gets there, the nurses, you'll hear the inmates change up. They're like, she's coming. Yo, oh, Jane, check it out. Everything about the homeboy ODing went out the window when the freaking nurse came in with the big booty. You know what I mean? They didn't care about homeboy ODing. They didn't care about rushing to get help. They're sitting there marinating on the girl's booty the whole time, man. Think I'm playing. I ain't playing. All of that OD and stuff went completely out the window. Now check out, this is another crazy story. This happened to a warden at St. Bride's as well. There was this warden that would make his rounds. Believe it or not, the warden would make his rounds on a regular basis with the major and lieutenant and all that. They would just walk around, Usually it was just the major and lieutenant walking side by side him. And, he would walk around the housing units and stuff like that with these two guys walking with him side by side. And sometimes, that bites him in the butt too. I think it was in Sussex over here in Virginia. An inmate walked up to the warden and said, "Merry Christmas," and slashed him across his freaking face, Stuff like that happens. These wardens take a big risk walking around the compound and going through the housing units. But anyway, check it out. This is absolutely hilarious, man. I'll never forget it. I was coming back from chow, and I was walking in front of this old guy. He was older, man. He was like 60s. He had gray hair. Black dude, he had gray hair. And he was walking in front of me. And the nurses, we were going this way, and the nurses were coming this way. So we had to walk past them, okay? But it was near the entrance of our building. So as we're walking past them, everyone's turning around to look at their butts. You know what I mean? Everyone's turning around to look at their butts. And this dude, he turns to go into the housing unit, and he's still staring directly at these nurses' butts, the old guy. And he runs face first into the freaking warden, about took him off his feet, man. That lieutenant and correctional officers, they swarmed the old head, yoked him up, took him over to the little holding tank, He came back about 5 hours later. And he told us, we were like, "Man, what happened to you, man? What happened?" You know what I mean? He's like, "Man," I told him what was up. I said, "Man, look, I was just looking at the nurse's butt. I didn't mean to run into you." And he was like, "Man, the warden, the major, lieutenant, they're all dying laughing." You know what I mean? They didn't even give him no charges or anything like that. But, just by bumping into the warden like that, he got hemmed up and took to the side pocket for a few hours. You know what I mean? But I never forget. I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, my God, this dude got caught up staring down the nurses." You know what I mean? But, yeah, stuff like that happens on a regular basis, The nurses, man, you've got to enjoy that job in order to work there. I'm telling you, there's probably 5% of them people that are literally only working there just because they really need a job. How are you going to be a registered nurse working in a prison? There's so many other better places you could be working at, You've got to do it because it's, thrilling to you or something. I don't know. I've never understood why anybody of the opposite sex would want to work in a institution like that, because in my eyes, the only reason why is because they're enjoying the attention, whether it's a guy working in a woman's prison or a woman working in a guy's prison. In my eyes, I strongly believe it's because the majority of them love the attention. But yeah, mark my words, everybody out there that might be wanting to become a jail or prison nurse. I'm telling you, the catcalling is going to be worse than freaking walking down New York City in yoga pants. That's just how it goes, you know? And then especially at the higher level prisons, you're going to be putting yourself around rapists and all kinds of stuff. You know, over here in Virginia, them rapists ain't in no freaking PC. They're roaming around with shanks. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. So this video is pretty much just a warning and my outlook on prison nurses and jail nurses. You know, anything can happen. Be very careful, anyone out there that might have a husband or a wife working in the system like that. If I were, you know, if me personally, if my wife wanted to work in a prison, you know, I'm not very controlling. I'm not controlling at all, except for when it comes to like money and stuff like that. I really got to try to control my wife. She likes to spend a lot of money. But this is the thing. I'm not controlling. You know what I mean? I could go to her job and see some guy flirting with her and all this, that, and the third. I'm not going to get mad. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say nothing until he's done. And then I'll roll up on her and just be like, yo, what's up? How's work going? You know, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not a jealous type of individual. As a matter of fact, I haven't been jealous of, you know, when you're married for almost, I'm going on a decade being married to my wife. Jealousy tends to go out the window. You know what I mean? You just love each other so much and you trust each other that jealousy just tends to go out the window, okay? But I will sit here and say this. I would never, ever allow my wife to work in a jail or a prison. I would never allow it. You know what I mean? It's kind of disrespectful to me for her to even ask me to work in a jail or prison. All-male jail or prison, you know? I don't even think I would let her work in a female. You know what I mean? For real. Those girls are probably going to be catcalling her more than the males. I mean, from what I heard, you know? But that's just my point of view. I know what goes on in prison. I know how people talk about nurses or any correctional officer that is somewhat good looking or somewhat has a big booty. I know. You know what I mean? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Anybody who's thinking about choosing that career path, not only is it going to put your safety at risk, not only is it going to put your morals, your mind state, all that stuff is going to be put at risk because you're allowing that you're working in a place where you know this stuff is going to happen. But you're also going to be bringing possible drama to whatever relationship that you come across on the streets, okay? I can almost guarantee 99% of the time your significant other is going to start some kind of crap behind it. You know what I mean? Y'all might get mad at each other one day and then the true colors come out and the boyfriend or the wife, husband, whatever, is going to say, you know what? That's your only reason why you're working in jails for all the attention. You love it, don't you? Mark my words, that's definitely what happens. You know, there's a lot of people out there that might allow their significant other to work in a jail or prison, but there's always going to be that topic that's going to be pulled up. You know, it's like pulling out a wild card in a relationship. Just like people like, well, you cheated on me, you know, back in the day, so what's the big deal? You know, people pull out those wild cards in relationships. And why would you ever want to give that kind of power to someone for them to pull that and hold that against you because you're working in a compound like that? You know, go get yourself a job in a hospital or something. You know what I mean? Regular hospital. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done it already. Add me up on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Go check out the Patreon. Go check out Teespring. Got some new merch coming. Man, I can't wait. I'm going to buy me about 6 or 7 of these t-shirts that I got coming. Good old Motorized Misfit on Instagram is going to be the one who is designing this new t-shirts for me or artwork that goes on the t-shirts. Can't wait to see that old Motorized. And let me know how Nugget's doing. He's got an English Bulldog as well. So go check him out on Instagram, Motorized Misfit. Man, he has some great artwork. You know what I mean? If you ever need some designs done or anything like that, go hit him up. Don't forget to check out all the equipment that I use to make these videos. If you want to start your own story time, you know, I can't wait to see some people's stories. They're saying they're about to crank it up. Crank it up. But as always, I want to salute to every last one of you who've been supporting me since the beginning and everyone who's just now joining the lockdown compound. And hey, mark my words. Mark my words. Y'all nurses out there that want to work in a all-male prison, everything that I said is true. You're going to be catcalled, all that stuff. You know, you might be physically harmed. Be very careful. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. Peep the whole scene and whatever's going on around you. You know what I mean? Y'all be easy out there.